What is good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. Today we are looking at the Swordsman class for Crystal of Atlan. I want to give you guys a brief rundown of the Swordsman class. Nothing too long, just a quick synopsis of both of the classes, what their passives are going to be. Both classes, I'm saying the Magiblade and the Berserker, of course, what their passives will be and what their overall playstyle look like while you're leveling them, as well as when you get towards the end game for both classes as well. When I say endgame, I am not referring to the CN endgame. I'm talking more about endgame in global, which would be around level 55 to 60. I'm also going to be doing a video like this for every one of the other classes that are going to be releasing on the launch of the game. So if you want to see more, definitely be on the lookout for those videos as well. The Berserker is essentially your classic Berserker Brawler-esque type playstyle in most MMOs. He specializes in trading his HP for damage. The lower his HP, the more damage he actually does. However, this Berserker actually gets a shield in replace of the HP that he's trading. So essentially what's going on is that you're going to go ahead and use your skills. As you use your skills, you will lose HP. But as you lose HP, you'll be replacing that HP with a shield. That shield will then function as your essential active HP, because anytime you are healed, it will go towards the shield value rather than your initial HP value, therefore keeping your HP as low as possible and giving you the full effects of his passive, which is the damage buff, while also allowing you to stay relatively tanky as well. This class also has long windups on some of his skills, but you can actually get rid of that long windup time depending on the situation, whether or not you want to keep up DPS or if you want to super armor through something. You can just get rid of the long windup by jumping and then doing the skill, and then that will actually do the fully charged version of the skill, which is this is a layer of skill that's actually going to be added on to Berserker as well, because a good Berserker will be doing a lot of jumps in between his combos in PvP or even in PvE just to squeeze out even more DPS than normal. Even though this class has somewhat of a skill ceiling, though, the class is also very beginner friendly because it does have a cheat death mechanic that is a cooldown of about 2 minutes. So every 2 minutes, anytime you take fatal damage, you actually will live and gain a actual lifesteal buff, so you can actually passively heal yourself while you kind of stay alive. So this is also added survivability for the class as well, making the class very beginner friendly in my opinion. Next, we're looking at the Magiblade, which is a much more faster paced class. Think more Blade Master from Elsword, think more Swordsmaster from Dungeon Fighter. This class features stylish and fast combat with very quick and cool combos as well. This class's main mechanic is going to revolve around attack speed. Every time you do an actual skill, you will get an attack speed buff, stacking up to 10 times. So you want to be using skills as much as possible to actually keep this buff up. Skills in this game normally have longer cooldowns, ranging from about 35 to 60 seconds for the more damaging skills, which can make it hard for some classes to actually keep a consistent skill uptime without cooldown reduction. However, Magiblade actually has a unique passive. For the skill Blinding Silhouette, there's actually a unique passive for this skill that gives him a bar at the bottom of your screen, which resembles a sword. While this bar is actually at the bottom of your screen and while the skill is still being able to be used, the skill Blinding Silhouette, you want to fill up this bar by using other skills. Once this bar is filled up, you can use the full skill for Blinding Silhouette and then also reset the cooldown of the skill completely. This will be one of the ways that you actually keep your attack speed buff up as high as possible, and you want to keep your attack speed buff up as high as possible because once you get to level 45, his unique passive is actually going to be a scaling of attack speed for his skills. So a lot of his skills will actually get an attack speed scaling. The higher your attack speed, the more hits these skill will actually do. This is where the skill ceiling for the class actually shows itself. You want to make sure that you're resetting Blinding Silhouette as often as possible to allow yourself to keep the attack speed buff up as high as you can to give yourself the full damage buff for a lot of your other skills. So you need to be rotating and keeping a close track on a lot of your cooldowns for your skills, but also the cooldown for Blinding Silhouette, especially when you're using it, and also making sure that you're not just throwing Blinding Silhouette out at any time and you have enough skills to actually fill up that meter to reset the cooldown again to keep your attack speed buff up. Blinding Silhouette will also give you 3 stacks of your attack speed buff as well, so it's one skill giving you 3 stacks of your buff, so keep that in mind as well. In my opinion, some tips for Magiblade would be to just make sure that if you do use Blinding Silhouette that you are resetting the cooldown to keep your attack speed buff up as high as possible. Also making sure that you are keeping your attack speed buff at 10 stacks so that you're able to go ahead and have the max scaling for a lot of your other skills. Other than that, the class is for people who want to have fun with a much more fast and stylish swordsman playstyle. The class may be a little bit hard to master, but once you do master the class, you will definitely be having a lot of fun, especially managing cooldowns and managing those resources as well. And that is it for the overview of Swordsman and his two subclasses, Berserker and Magiblade. Let me know if this video helped you guys decide which class you're going to be playing if you're playing the Swordsman by dropping a like on the video, or let me know inside the comments. Either one is a very good choice, and they're both very fun classes to play with two very distinct play styles that will not actually overlap with each other, so one will not play directly like the other in my opinion. Berserker is a lot more heavy with slow methodical skills and a lot more focus on animation canceling with jump. Thanks to Magiblade's attack speed buff, he is going to feel a bit smoother to play than Berserker, focusing on fast and flashy skills, while focusing on maintaining his attack speed buff to get max scaling off of all the other damaging skills that he does have. Thank y'all for watching as always. I will catch y'all in the next video. Be easy, be safe, y'all, and peace.